and might end up in the MMC's website. So you go by Rose now, not
Yeah,
Rosemary.
just Rose.
Rose. She
Yeah,
was one of my top students. How many years ago?
that was, oh, I mean, it feels like forever, but I think it was 2016.
2016. Yeah, that was great
It was
fun.
more than 10 years ago, but it's not.
I'm gonna make you co-host, and you're gonna tell us what you've been doing. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank-
I wanted to also kind of ask, I know this is the professional portfolio class, and I wanted to ask what's happening right now with the class, just so I can address them. Everybody's at home, you guys are remote, right? And then they're putting their portfolio together for graduation.
Right, for the professional portfolio review day. You remember that?
Yes, I did. I do remember that.
And now it's online, so it's all going to be all websites online. So I got the critics all lined up, and I sent everybody a rubric with their names and websites, so you can check it out when you get a chance. So it's not it isn't as much fun as it used to be when class, where we had a lot of bannering going back and forth, right?
Yes, for sure.
So that's kind of the Zoom life is
Crazy because I do remember that day, and I remember that I was so nervous about the whole program ending, and I didn't have a job. And I remember that obviously we went to all the panelists, and you're at that point, you're nervous, of course, because you're like, is this good enough? And I remember I came to you and I'm like, Jim, I don't know. Like, I don't have a job. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like freaking out. And you were like, no worries, no worries. I'll see if I hear somebody, like, I'll let you know. And then like, I remember like months after, I got an email from you, email this person, ask for an interview. And that was Michelle. And wow. I went to the interview, and then I got the internship, and then that became a whole job for like a while, and I was obsessed with them. And until this day, we're great friends. So that's great.
Great. So you still connect with Michelle?
I do. I talked for like an hour and a half yesterday with her on the phone.
Well, that was a good connection. I'm so happy for that.
Yes, she became a huge mentor for me and a friend. So I'm super, it's been
okay, great. Amazing.
So I'm gonna share my screen. Let me just make sure that I have this opened. It kind of feels hard to connect with everyone just because we're doing this the way we're doing it, but let's do it. So my actual formal name is Rosemary. I was in Marymount. I think I graduated in 2017, but I did like graphic design and marketing, and I finished the graphic design part of it. I think it was 2016. Just so you guys get a sense of what I've been doing, I graduated, did an internship at Casura Design in Manhattan, that's located in Union Square. I kind of told the story, like Jim was just like, go to this interview and hope for the best. And like, luckily I did get that. And like, that internship became a full-time job. And I was there for, I think, almost 2 years. And then eventually I wanted to do a master's degree. So I applied to Pratt and I got accepted, and I went for their communication design program, and I graduated last year in May. So I kind of got a taste of your whole, virtual graduating situation. I didn't get a graduation, so it's very upsetting. So I can only imagine. I understand what you're going through. One of the, and then since then I've been kind of doing some freelancing. This was my final project for Marymount. I wanted to show it because the top, like the original project, was this series of posters about my home country. I'm originally from Nicaragua, and I did these illustrations, and it's funny because I'm not an illustrator, and I don't understand how I did this because I don't have it in me, but I did. And so I wasn't happy with the posters. I did present them in the show, like the posters. But then after the fact, I needed to put something on my portfolio online, and I just wasn't happy with them. And they kind of became these postcards, which in my opinion are much nicer composition. And I still really like them. Another thing that I did at Marymount that I'm still very kind of like happy with is this little booklet of New York City minimalist abstract buildings. And there's just illustrations of iconic buildings in New York. And I don't know, I just still, I'm happy with the end result. There's one mistake here that happened in the mock-up, and I noticed it, and I was like, I'm not gonna take it out because I feel like they should see it, and it drives me crazy. But if you can see, when I like move, when I go across the pages, do you see the text jumping? That should never happen. Don't let it happen. It drives me crazy, crazy, crazy. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this will help somebody else. So always
So use a grid, right?
What?
Use a grid.
Yes, for sure. And like Michelle, like my mentor now, she would like go crazy if this would happen. So like now it's in my brain too. Like I'm like, no, that's not even a possibility. But I just feel like it was worth. This is the mock-up, the actual booklet printed. It's fine. But I think it was when I was actually putting this together. But anyways, that's something that you can learn from. This is another booklet that I did at Pratt. It's a project where we were supposed to analyze a piece of a publication, whether it was a magazine, a newspaper, and I found this picture of the New York Times and in an issue of the New York Times, and I just felt like it was very complex and there was a lot of components to it and make it very powerful. And so like I kind of decomposed it and like did this simulation of cutouts of certain expressions that expressions that talked up like made you feel that added to the feeling of the picture. And so like I isolated them and just thought that it came like the texture of the actual newspaper, the ink and the contrasting color at the back, I really liked how it came out. Another thing that I've been doing too is I've been kind of getting into UX a lot more. I'm not sure if anybody here is interested in that, but
could you explain it to me?
So UX is like user experience. There's so many different applications for that. It could be that you're like, so for example, digital, meaning in a website, you need to make sure that the user, the person that's in that website, that website is easy to navigate. So you need to make sure that if the login, if your intent as a designer is for like people to sign up, for example, you need to make sure that like the sign up, it's like clear and easy to access in the website for people to accomplish the whole goal, right? So like you're making it easy, the experience of navigating these tools. But also that's like in applications like digital, but then there's also UX in, company systems, company processes. The way you order at a restaurant is UX, it's user experience, just making sure that it's not confusing for the end user. So this was pretty cool. This was at Pratt. It was, they called it a UX-a-thon. So like we had like a whole day of, it was like, I think it was like more than 10, I think it was like 8 hours or so. We got into groups. We were supposed to find a solution or like propose a project to find a solution for natural disasters, and how to bring aids to people in a natural disaster where everything is stopped and like everything is, nothing can get access, the roads are down, all these things. So the cool thing about the group was that there was a lot of people from different places. So we kind of got input from different, perspectives. And that's a huge part of UX. You need to do like your research. Research is the most important part of the whole thing, because you want to make sure that you're not making assumptions and that you're like making sound decisions. And so we proposed a like an aggregation to Google Maps that would kind of go into this safety mode when the city was offline and there wasn't like any connectivity, and so like there would be this map where you could locate like hospitals or like already designated shelters for like emergency situations in the city. So the reason why I wanted to include this is because that day we were like, things are very fast paced. Obviously, depending on each project, things work in a different way. But like in this specifically instance, things were fast paced. So like there's this thing called rapid prototyping, right? And you don't take 3 hours to design something, but it's more like hands-on kind of thing. So like you grab some paper, some scissors, and you're like put it together, and like you kind of mimic what the interaction would be in this new thing that you're coming up with. And I just wanted to show you guys, like, it doesn't really need to be pretty. It's kind of like, you just kind of do. And it was great to interact with the whole team. You get ideas from different people. And so what this was us trying to like, obviously we didn't, I mean, this is just a project. The whole thing is hypothetical, but you're like, okay, so like, what would this screen look like? How would this button work? How is this not confusing to people? So like you kind of were like that. And I thought that it might be interesting for you guys to see how the process works. Another thing that I did, this is a project that I did during the pandemic when it all started, and we were kind of very much more isolated from our family and friends and our loved ones, and kind of going to the power of a hug and like how much it really means to be physical with others and how we miss it. So I was looking into like precedents that are out there nowadays, and there's this belt from Huggies. They don't sell it, but it's an interesting prototype that they have, where they put this like belt on mothers, so like their partners can feel like the baby move and the baby kick in, and like you can get a sense of what it is like. And so that technology already exists. They don't sell it, but I just thought it was very interesting. And then there's also playlists, like you can like make somebody else feel this like coziness from a hug through music too, which is a different, it's a different way. So I was like, I came up with this idea of like, what if we had some kind like that technology and we'd use it to like send a hug first to someone through a blanket. And like this again, it's an idea, so I could create applications for it, but I think it was a very fun project and I really liked it. So the whole idea was like you would be on a blanket, and then people would kind of like send like if somebody wanted to send a hug, you would have a swap count, and then you would kind of feel the energy through the blanket. There's like heated blankets and all these things now, so it's definitely something possible. So I created this interface. It's called virtual love, and you would make your account, and like this is part of UX too. Like I was trying to create different, how would this work, and like how would the user interact with this application. So like these are some of my screens, and we have here kind of like to show what I was thinking of, like how would it all work. So like you go in there, you choose your device like that you just got like on the Apple Store, whatever, right? And then you kind of have to register it to the app. You put the activation code, it's done. Then like you have like your favorite people in there, and you kind of want to send them a hug. So then a screen pops up, and you're like, send first hug. And then you press and record the motion that you wanted because you don't want just any kind of hug. You want it to be personalized. So you press and then like you hold until like how long you want the hug to be. And then and then you send it. It was a cute project. And then this is like the behind. I use sketch to the screens and the interactions. I thought it was something interesting for you guys to take a look at. Um, this is more. This is a little bit more. A little bit of everything still, but okay. So I was. My thesis was actually about how people learn about money, and I don't know. It was very complex, but um, I was still, like looking into, yeah, how do we learn about money? I found this book from 1941. It was a gamified experience of money. You would put these little coins into these holes, and kids, different values, a quarter, a penny, and then kids there was a story behind it. It was a gamified experience, so kids, learned like what it was, like the value of a coin. And then you would bring this book to the bank, and it was just an interesting experience to learn. And so like I was kind of wanted to think how, what that would look like today. And everything has changed since the 1940s, obviously. So I was trying to like think of like this idea of like how would that look like to this day. And then like I wanted to create a branding in here. So I kind of, these are some of my logo variations, when I was trying to come up with an idea for a logo. Then I was, these are like my two last ones. I wasn't sure the typography that would work best. Decided to go with the one on the right because it was more rounded. Um, then it kind of did this, like, it's supposed to be for kids, so we wanted it to be fun, we wanted to be like interactive. So this is like the official cards that I came up with at the end. Um, yeah, and so like then I just kind of did a quick application, like just like so for visual purposes, just so people could like kind of see what I was going with it. And the whole thing was to transform this book into what that would look like today, and how kids could learn the value of money and the concept of money, um, to different platforms, so in this situation, a gamified experience, and I will be on your phone because that's just very, like the relationship with technology that we have today is so much, it's grown so much that, yeah, so like it became this. And it would be like little games in there, and again looking at like the interface and like how do you organize these different chapters that you would go through, like different levels that you would go through. And that's it. I tried to do it like a little bit of everything, and I didn't want to overwhelm anybody because I feel like me talking for forever wouldn't do any help. But I also wanted to like a Q&A and like ask, depending on the questions that come up, we can like look at other stuff if you want to.
That was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So you demonstrated how important drawing was in the beginning.
You know what I did? And another important thing that I feel like I will never forget about your class, that at the time I felt like it was pretty just frustrating for me. It was that I would bring you would be like, okay, Rosemary, and then I would come back, I would come to you and I show you what I had. And then you would be like, why is this line here floating in the middle of the page? And I would be like, I don't know, I like it. It just looks pretty. And then you were like, no, it cannot just be there because it's pretty. It needs to have a reason to be there. And I'll be like, oh my God, like, and just trying to find an explanation for this line to be floating in there. And like, you were like, no, like that's not the way it works. It needs to be a system, a reason for things to be. And to be honest with you, it's crazy because when I, like right now, I'm working with this company and I'm trying to make sense of this team. And whenever somebody just comes up with something like that, I'm like, but why? Why is that thing in there? It's not serving anybody. Like it's not doing, it has no purpose. Let's just take it out. It's clutter. Like, why do we have it there? You know? And it's so funny because now I feel like that's, it's crazy that it's all the way back, you know, from that beginning of things.
Yeah, that's great.
Super great. Yeah.
So
I
say
don't know if
something.
anybody, what?
Who wants the tour?
I wanted to ask if anybody had any questions that you wanted to ask me. It could be about anything.
I mean, I guess my question would be if you had any tips on kind of like applying to these, you know, more legitimate like graphic design jobs and things like that that are kind of like I don't know. But what would be your tips for hiring or applying and things like that for portfolio and resume purposes? Like what do you find has helped you the most?
To be honest with you, right now, the times that we're right now, I think obviously are very much complex. I personally have been doing more freelancing. I'm not doing a full-time job right now. I would say though, pandemic wise, you know, and the economy in the country and all these things, right? I would say right now, you're graduating from undergrad, you're in like, I don't know if you guys have done relevant, like big internships, or if it has been like something short, or if your heart is set on something and you just know it in your heart what you want to do, that's a different story. But at least for me, I didn't know anything when I graduated from Marymount. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew what I wasn't good at, and that was a lot of things that I wasn't good at. And I was pretty open to anything. And when I started my first official job, I wasn't picky at all. I feel like I was just really open to learn. And um, obviously, don't go into a company where there's a million red flags, meaning that they're gonna pay you $5 an hour for you to work. You know, it's like, come on. But I would say be open at this stage because you never know what you can get out of that job. I think in other circumstances, I would be like, okay, you know, make sure that you like this and you like that. But like at this point, I would just be very open to what's out there and, you know, try to make your portfolio. Normally people will be like, you know, don't put branding in your portfolio if you cannot do, if you don't like doing branding, because they're going to hire you to do branding, you know? And like you should put stuff in your portfolio that you want to be doing. They want that they would hire you to do that, right? So that's 100% true. But I think at this point, and with everything that's going on, if you're like specialist in one thing, for sure, go for that. But if you're just still kind of like, you know, exploring and you're not sure, put a little bit of everything in there and try to, you know, and see what options you have. If you have any offers, definitely give them a try because you never know what you can learn. I learned so much from that job, and they work a lot with financial companies, and at the moment I was just like, I just want a job, you know, like anything, I'll take it. um, and they do a lot of work for financial companies, hedge funds, banks. It's very much more information design and than it's more that than like branding and marketing and advertising. It's not so like you know, it's not the most one, like I wouldn't say like, oh my god, this is my dream job to go to, but honest to god, I learned so much. Like I feel like it made me who I am today. Like my values, my ethic, like my work ethic, all of that. I just learned it. You never know. So like I think you can learn anything from any job. And at this point, if you're like, you know, I just really want a job after college, I would say be open to anything. Don't think like, oh, that's just like beneath me, or like that's not what I want. Maybe it's just, you know, like you learn something from that, and then in a couple of months you change, you go to another one. But I would say that. Another advice that I feel like is super helpful, and I think I've tried to do that, and I think I've seen the benefits from that. Is that always keep in touch with the people that have taught you stuff, anything. Like your professors at Pratt, at the end of the day, are people in the industry, that you never know when you might need anything from them. And like, you know, if you're like you should keep in touch. You should be, how's it going? And also be like thankful for everything they taught you. I mean, I cannot give you advice on college because you're leaving now, but like make sure you end things in a good note with everybody, because you never know who these people know, who you never know what that will translate into the next couple of 10, maybe in 10 years, you'll come across these people again. And if you're like, you know what? And then like you say, like it's not going to be good. Always end in good terms with literally everyone. It doesn't matter what happened. It doesn't matter if you left this company because you were working too many hours, or if you left the company because there was one employee that you just didn't like. Honestly, just end everything on a good note, because you never know. You literally never know when you might need to come back, when you might need a favor, somebody to check your resume, somebody to like look at your portfolio and give you notes. Even your peers, like you guys are gonna be, that critic for each other. Like the next time you're probably, I don't know how close of a group you guys are, but the next time you have like a big project coming up and you don't want to, like, sometimes asking for advice from certain people, you kind of feel like nervous of what they're going to say. But like somebody that is your peer, like a college student, like somebody from your class, you might feel more comfortable sharing that because you know that they have as much experience as you do. And so like that's pretty nice too. um when I It's funny because in Marymount, when we graduated, we were kind of like not a close bunch, really. Well, I mean, at least I wasn't with like most. I mean, yeah, but I was in New York, and lots of people stayed, and I I had people on my Instagram, and then like I was like going through, and then like this girl came up. What was her name? James, you must remember her. She was really great, green eyes. She was kind of like always, I don't know how, she's still in New York. I forgot her name right now, but she was like working her job. She was working at a brewery in New York, and that was like 2 blocks away from my apartment building. And what she was doing was so cool. Like she was actually doing a great job. And I was like, oh my God, hi, do you remember me? Like I just meant to say that looks pretty cool what you're doing. And she's like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like you never know. Maybe one of you will get at this pretty cool job, and then you were like, hey, can you refer me? Like you cannot ask that of a person that you've never spoken to. Try to keep in touch with yourself, and um yeah, take advantage of that. This is the community you get. I
Great
think
advice. I
that's
remember you had a business majored, didn't you?
yeah, marketing. Yeah.
Marketing. And I remember you went down and worked for Michelle, and you thought, in my area, there was no need to know Excel. And you knew Excel, and it was very important for that office. And that was a big surprise.
It was a
So
big surprise. I hated my Excel class. Like I hated it so bad. Like you don't understand. I thought it was pointless because you have to take accounting and all these classes for marketing. And I've never been, I mean, like I just really thought it was pointless to learn Excel. I was like, when on earth am I gonna use this? It was just one of those classes. I mean, I guess we've all been there. Like I didn't want to go. I was like, I hate it. And then that's what I'm talking. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this position for them is a very specific kind of business. They work with a lot of hedge funds, and it's not like I was doing accounting for them because I wasn't. But it happens to be that Excel, you need to like know how to process information in Excel in order to take that and do a design with that, which is so like if you don't know how to process that data, how do you get to the design part? You need to first do this. And it was crazy because, well, if you think about it, there's not that many people that do like Excel and accounting and that stuff, and then also graphic design. I mean, at least, it's not like all of the designers are like into that kind of thing. So it ended up being like that I was kind of perfect for that specific reason, and that got me the job. They were like, show us so you can do it in Excel. And I was like, okay. And then I kind of like knew everything, and it happened to be the perfect fit. And sometimes it's not like somebody rejects you. It's sometimes not like that you are not a good enough designer. Sometimes it is that it's this is specific, you know, they need someone that knows exact to do exactly this, and you don't qualify, but it's just because it's so specific. You know, happens, and then that may play in your favor too if you have like, I don't know, theater and experience in like I don't know, writing something. I saw, you know, like, I don't know, that combination may get you a position that is so specific that only you can get, you know. So for sure, try a bunch of things. Like, you know, don't omit that kind of thing in your resume. The weirdest combinations, I feel like they're always so relevant. No, I mean, you're different than anybody else.
I've also found that when I'm applying to stuff, because I'm also an art history major, so when I was applying to a lot of gallery jobs and art history jobs, the fact that I do graphic design was actually a huge plus too, because a lot of people don't have in-house graphic designers or they contract out. So even though I was starting at like an assistant position or something, the fact that I did graphic design like was super helpful for people, and it helped me stand out among like other applicants.
Absolutely. Even for UX, if you're like, for example, if you do engineering, I have a friend that she wasn't, I mean, she had a little bit of design in her, but like her major wasn't that. It was like, I think it was engineering, like, or something. And then she kind of had some electives in design. And then she had a friend that worked at Citibank, and then they were like looking for someone that had a more technical knowledge on you know, engineering, computer engineering. Um, and she was kind of perfect for it. But when it comes to design itself, she had less experience than probably you guys, but because she had this specific background, she was the perfect combination of what they needed, and she got the job. So she's right now a UX designer in Citibank. And like, are you guys in New York, or are you guys everywhere in the country? What's going on?
I'm living in Whitefish, Montana right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I moved out of New York City in February because I got a job out here.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
There's more than one that's somewhere else. There's not, they're kind of scattered about.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, you know, be part of the community too. The thing that I miss about New York the most, I mean, I know it's everything's different at this point, but go to the talks, go to the museum events, and go to the, you know, there's always the designer that is giving a talk about, I don't know, gallery design, exhibitions design, or like architecture, this and that. And like, there's so many things that you can learn from that just by sitting there and, you know, listening. You're learning. Most of the time they're like free or like $10 or whatever, you know. Go to them, like, always keep learning. Everything changes so much all the time. Like, I'm not even kidding. I did this application, I designed this like last year. Um on Sketch, and like another, you know, like now there's Adobe XD, and there's the, like, these things change, and like the process, the way people like build things change too. And so like you have to be part of the conversation if you want to keep yourself um you know, on the loop. So definitely, you know, I know right now there's not much events going on, but lots of places are doing this, you know, conferences online. So you can actually, I use that to my advantage. There was, I think the Cooper Union, was it? No, the Cooper Hewitt was doing typography conference, I think a couple of months ago, maybe a year ago, actually, like about a year ago. It was all online, all through Zoom. It was free. And you got all these great designers in typography talking from like different parts of the world. So like, you know, the pandemic is the pandemic, but also take advantage of that. You know, now you don't have to be in New York to get that kind of stuff. You know, like you can be in Montana or like in Austin and still like join these pretty cool events. And so that was, I love that. Definitely follow, you know, all these museums. The Cooper Hewitt is a great one. Cooper Union. Just follow all these places, and, you know, keep up with the events, keep learning. This is not that you're graduating, it's not like, that's not it. You have to like keep yourself.
It's the
And
beginning, right?
it's just the beginning. Let me tell, oh my God. It's just the beginning for sure.
I have to tell everybody that Rose, when she started at Marymount, was very quiet. She hardly said a word.
And I was so shy. I was scared of everyone. I was scared of gym. I was scared of people. I was just like, I couldn't even speak. My English was so bad. I still have an accent and I'm aware of this, but
That's
it's
good.
nothing compared
Yeah,
to
but
when I began.
you become a public speaker. It's great to see.
I
That's
did
great.
it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, but it's the mistakes and the getting used to. Oh my God, you guys, I cannot even tell you how shy I was. Like, I would rather, oh my God, like, I cannot even tell you. You cannot even imagine. I was like, don't talk to me. Oh my God, like, don't. And you grow up and you make mistakes and you realize that it's not the end of the world if you made one mistake and your confidence start to build up. Um, and I don't have any problems about public speaking anymore.
Could you say, for the record, for this tape that we're taping, you have to say something that Marymount was positive in your life that came out of Marymount, not just me.
Oh my God, Merrimont itself as a whole, or you?
Yeah. No,
Uh,
not me. I'm not going to be there. So
I would say the flexibility of being able to try different things out, even though I was an art major with a graphic design concentration. I was also able to get the marketing degree. And also, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have that mix that we were just talking about. So, like the fact that the flexibility of being able to take um, classes and like first of all doing the dual major thing, and second of all that flexibility of just exploring different industries, I think that was great. And even I took marketing classes, advertising, and I'm not a marketer, I'm advertiser or anything like that, but it's great to have that knowledge in the back of your head, even though you're not a specialist on it. As a designer, you're a little bit of everything. You're an engineer, you're a little bit of a marketer, a little bit of a publicist, a little bit of a advertiser, a little bit of an artist, a little bit of everything. You kind of need to know, you have different clients, different industries. You kind of need to adapt. And I think that it's great to have had that flexibility and being exposed to so many different things, for sure. Um, yeah, I have such good. I was like in photography and I loved it. I had ceramics and I loved it. It was so therapeutic for me. There was so much going on back then. I remember it all, and I'm still friends with some people that in the admissions office. I'm like super close. Like one of them was at my wedding actually. Like I became super close friends with them in the international admissions. Um, yeah, it was just it's a small school, but that's a good thing.
so how was your experience at Pratt? What do you think of
Love
Pratt?
it. I want to go back. I want to start all over again.
Yeah.
Yes. It was great. It was great. I made great friends. I met great professors. I I loved it so much, and I would absolutely do the whole program all over again. Like I would. And that being said, the first year I was going to sleep at 4 a.m. and waking up like at 6. Like I didn't get to sleep. I didn't like have time to do anything. There was so much. It's hard. I mean, they like really, really, really put you to work. The first 2 semesters were like insane, and I would still do it again. I loved it. It was such a great experience. Um, Definitely always keep learning. Not necessarily a master's, but I mean, if you want to do that, great. There's continuing education, there's like free courses of this. um You know, like when I was just saying, the talks, the museum stuff, the events. There's also in New York, there's so many communities, and now I'm pretty sure that all over the world. There was UX. This was this community of UX designers that were female only, and all these people from like we had like a meeting at Google offices that are like by the Chelsea Market, and like this was a free event. I was just like literally just to hang out and get to know people, and I was invited by one of my professors at Pratt, but they were just pretty much a bunch of designers that were willing to mentor you if you ask your questions and like kind of be a friend in the industry. And they had somebody at Google that was part of this, so they let us have this thing in Google. And I was like, oh my God, the Google offices are so beautiful and this and that. And I met so many people, and like you learn from people, So definitely do that. That's such a huge investment in your, not only the people that you know, but the people that you can reach out, and the people that you can ask questions to, and the people that whatever their mistakes were, you're gonna learn from them. It's a little bit of everything. And the one question that I would make that always ask everybody was like, how did you know you wanted to do that? Like, how do you know? Because I didn't know. I still don't know. Like, I feel like tomorrow I'll wake up and I want to do something else in design. I change all the time. And they will be like, it's sort of like happened. Like, they would just be like, this thing led to another, and now I'm here, And I was always such a planner, and I wanted to have all the answers. Like, am I going to be an illustrator? Am I going to be into branding? Am I going to be in animation? Should I be learning this? There's such a huge priority in this industry that you can specialize into. And I was just always, to Michelle, to my past boss, to whoever at Pratt and Marymount. I think I asked you a bunch of times, Jim. I probably did. Maybe you don't remember, but I would ask you this to anybody that I felt like had a good job, or like even not in design, but like just that I felt like they knew about something. I'll be like, how did you get here? Like how how did you know that this was your thing? And lots of people were just like, it kind of happened. Like I was exposed to this, then was exposed to that. And here I am. So I don't know, just question people, interview them, make them interesting questions, get them coffee, be like, hey, do you want to go for coffee? I'll get you coffee and we can talk about this.
So,
Wouldn't hurt anybody. Not in the pandemic, but like after. Or like a virtual coffee.
Greta, do you have something that you want to ask?
I guess like because you mentioned that you do a lot of freelance, like how do you personally find like your freelance jobs, or like how do you get yourself out there, or like how did you originally get yourself out there, like in the early stages of it?
So that's a great question, and you're not gonna like my answer because so I graduated Pratt, and this pandemic thing is, it was insane. And I was like in freak out mode because I just graduated Pratt, and it was supposed to be this huge thing, right? Like, oh my God, like the job fair and all these big companies going. And I was like, for sure, I'm gonna land a great job. And that didn't happen because, again, no graduation, no job fair, no thesis exhibition, nothing. I did a whole thesis that worked on it 2 years. I couldn't present it to anybody. So what happened was I kept a great connection with my other job that I had before Pratt, and they happened to always be busy, and I think it kind of, because I was just like keeping good relationships, like that's what I'm saying. Like that's a good advice then. Keep a good relationship with everybody, because in that instance, I was like, hey, how are you guys doing, etc. And they said that they had so much work. I said that I had some free time if they wanted me to, like it could be like an hourly something, but like not, I didn't want to commit to something permanent because I didn't know like that. I didn't want to go back to the job that I had before. I wanted to like do more UX, and they didn't do UX. But they were like, yeah, let's do it. So it was a freelance position, and they would just send me work. Like, do you have, what's your availability this week? And I would say, you know, I have about like this time available. What do you need? And that kind of helped. So I guess, well, right now, because I don't know how like how much experience you guys have in internships and past positions because you're just starting, but like in my specific instance, people that I knew already were kind of the people that were like I'm doing work for. So I'm just reaching out back, and again, just keep a good relationship with everybody because one, they already know me. They don't have to train me. I already know how to do what I do for them, you know. So that's a great advantage. And nobody likes to train people. That takes so much time, you know. And if you don't need another whole person to work for you, a freelancer, it's great because it's a couple of, you know, it's kind of like as needed, you know. So that's a great you know, keep your relationships in a good terms. Don't ever go like, oh, you know what, peace out and I hate you all. No, never do that. You never know what's gonna happen. So yeah, it was just past relationships basically for right now. Yeah, that's, I'm sorry. I don't know if that helps.
No, that helps. That totally helps. Don't worry.
But I know that there's some outlets that are like you can put your like you can put like, how can I say that? So you know, I mean, this is gonna be a really bad comparison, but you know what? Like you can hire pet sitters and stuff like that through an app. There's like that for designers or like for literally like anything. And so I'm not sure what the names are. I can definitely ask because I have a couple of friends that are doing exactly the same that I'm doing. So let me ask them, and I'll just forward it to Jim, and he can like give you guys different platforms because I know there are, and you just like put like Illustrator, and you put your rate per hour, and you know people reach out to you depending, you know, again as needed. So that could be an option. I'm gonna ask because I have a couple of friends that are doing the same thing, just freelancing for now. Especially because people are like going back to their home state or like home country, and they don't want to commit to anything yet because they don't know what's gonna, you know, the uncertainty of everything right now. There's a lot of people that are doing freelancing. Another person who reached out to me that moved to Austin too, it's Britain. Remember her? Britain, I think, or she was like, right? You remember her?
Brittany?
No, Britain. She was like, it's a Briten. No,
Uh-huh.
I don't
think
know. She was in my class too. She was in her class too. She just moved to Austin, and same thing. It's like, oh my God, Rose, hi, do you remember me? Like we went to Marymount together, you know, a million years ago.
was she an illustrator? I'm thinking of an illustrator.
Yeah, she's an illustrator.
Okay.
Well, she has a lot of her work. It's, yeah, illustrations. I think she was from El Paso, Texas. I'm not sure.
Yes, I
Yes,
remember.
right?
Yes, she was.
Yeah. So yeah, so she's
She did a book about El Paso, as I remember.
I think so. Yeah, maybe. But she's out here too. Again, just always like kind of,
Are you in touch with her?
yeah. Well, like we were supposed to get together. We're still kind of like, you know, trying to figure
Well,
that out.
say hello to her for me.
Oh well, I'll
Yeah.
ask her if she wants to give a talk. I don't know if I think she's freelancing. I'm gonna ask her actually because maybe she'll be a good. She'll have some information that is relevant for you guys.
Okay,
That's what you
great.
want to do.
Great.
Yeah. Anything else?
Any other questions out there?
Any other
Great.
questions?
Yes? No?
And I mean, if you think of other questions, I put my email there. Feel free to reach out. Jim always does this with his classes that he brings people, and I was so embarrassed to like send an email to the person and be like, hey, like, you know, I don't know. But you know, I'm already another contact that you can have. And you know,
That's great.
it's still a thing. What I've been saying, I just make sure you're like, you know, have your contact people, have your like open up your circle of people. So like this is one, and definitely feel free to reach out. I was exactly where you are a couple of years ago. I was scared to email people. I never emailed anybody that came to the class to talk. Like I wasn't, you know, but you know, save it somewhere and maybe eventually, you never know, you know.
That was like 5 years ago.
That was like 5 years ago.
And it was like what, 9 years ago when you started. Marymount, or 8.
Yeah, I got to Marymount in 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have to ask you, did you get your green card?
I did.
Oh,
My
congratulations.
husband is American. Well, he's from Ecuador, but his whole family is American. So yeah, I got my green card.
Well, that's great that you're both from South America.
We are both from Santa Maria. Yes.
So when you go home, you're nearby, huh?
Yes, well, kind of. He's in South America. I'm from Central America,
Oh, well, it's
and yeah, it's pretty cool. It all worked out. It all worked out.
okay. Well, it's
Thank
great.
God.
Great. Thanks so much for coming. It was great to see you.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. I hope I
Yeah.
wasn't too boring to
No,
listen
no, you
to.
were very inspirational, and you set a high standard for everybody.
That's
That is,
great.
yeah. And I'm glad that you showed the work that you did here at Marymount, because everything else kind of built upon it and got
Yeah,
more.
for sure. And you know what? Sometimes we don't think about these things, but you guys, the stuff that you do, you can sell on Etsy and stuff. I didn't even think about this, but and it's like because like the other day I'm now I feel like I'm a grown up now because of what I'm gonna say, but I love cooking and I wanted to have a recipe book, but I didn't want to like go through the trouble and actually sign in a layout and all these things. So I was like, we're gonna just find a format, just like a, like just to have like my recipes together. And I went to Etsy and they have like, you just pay like $10 for like it's all done. You just download the layouts on like Word or like whatever pages or whatever you have. And like some people don't know how to do that, like in Illustrator or what, and they don't know, they're not designers. So a designer just makes that, puts it online, and then per download, you're gonna get, $10. And like if it's great, if 5 people buy it, you buy $50. And like you don't have to keep working. Like you literally just put it out there and like you're gonna get paid for that one thing that you did. So, put it out there. If you did postcards, if you did a poster, if you did like, I don't know, put it on t-shirts. I mean, pandemic times, right? Like let's just figure it out. Like just put your work out there and be like, you never know, it doesn't have to be a one unique piece of art, but it could be something that is useful for people. Put it on Etsy and make some cash. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's a good
Take
tip.
advantage of that.
Yeah, great.
Yes. Well, thank you so much again.
Okay, thank you, Rose. It was really great to meet
Thank you
up
so
again.
much.
Keep in touch.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
for
you.
sure. Keep in touch and congrats, Jim, on
Thank you.
retirement.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Yay. Well, what do you think, Daniel?
I thought she was like incredible, so professional, and everything she showed looked so good. Everything.
Yeah, it was great. I see I got this background with her, and I know her as a freshman, and it's like she's just unbelievable what happened in just 4 years or 5 years or whatever. So that's great to see. Lucas, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
All right. So should we move on and see Lucas's masterpiece? Yes.
I guess so. If you want to show it.
I got it. I got it right here.
All right, perfect.
His latest masterpiece. Wait a minute. What happened? It just stopped.
Yeah, that's it. That's the 45 seconds.
You need a conclusion.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do when I mash it all up together and get like the whole thing.
All right.
Yeah.
It left me on a cliff there.
Yeah. You gotta wait till next week, man.
I gotta wait till next week. Okay. Anybody have any thoughts? Daniel? Or resident critic?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I love your little character that you draw.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's thematically going through all of the videos, bringing them together. So we have 2 weeks left. I got two more.
Now, is Project 7 due next week or is it due the following week?
It's due next week.
Okay.
It's due according to everybody's contract. It looks like this. Due next week. You're supposed to be done, and then we get in that week. We're going to review everything. So this is your website presentation to the class. You can present everything, and we'll take a look and give you then you'll have a chance to revise maybe the navigation or the imagery or add or subtract by 1 week. And I expect to send this, it'll be a little less than a week because I'm going to send this to the critics that you have received on Friday, May the 14th. So that'll be, give them a weekend before the 17th. That'll be the last day of class, the 17th. And I expect I'm going to hold class and we'll have some more presenters on that day, but I don't have that confirmed yet. But so you can come and see some other professionals, and you won't have to do anything. You just look at the show. So is everybody all right out there? Anybody have any comments? No
On
comment
anything in particular?
on anything particular? No. Okay.
I mean, if we're looking to review anything, if we could go to my website and kind of review what I have so far and kind of just go through kind of maybe what I would need.
Before, do you want to do that right now?
We can do something before then. I'm just
No. I don't. Ava, what do you have to say?
Yeah, Jim, I actually had a similar question. So basically, I've realized my final project of doing a coloring book isn't really going as planned. And so I'm still doing this idea of illustrating New York City things, but I don't know. I think they just may become artwork that's going on my portfolio. And I think because these reviewers of our portfolios don't know what was in this class and what was not, would that be something that's okay?
Yeah, so that isn't, this class was designed to support you on making that bridge from wherever you are now into wherever you're going to be.
Yeah. Okay. So that's cool that I'm just.
It's inclusive.
Yeah, it's still work on my portfolio. It's just slightly different than what I initially came in with.
I understand that. The part of this, the structure of this is for you to see for yourself if you can sign a contract planning on a series of projects and actually carry it out. Now, if you can't do that, that's what you're saying you can't do, Ava, then that you ought to think about that. But that is not going to affect your grade because the reviewers are, and I'm not going to hold it against you either. I mean, at some other time I would have said, no, you got to do your contract because somebody hires you to do something, you can't give them something else. Do you understand?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but that's not going to be the case here. It's going to be whatever that sum total of your portfolio will be. And of course, I'm going to take responsibility for the grade, and I'm not going to be I'm going to be compassionate because these people are not going to be seeing it from an insider's eye like I am. They're going to be looking at you from how you compare to their experience professionally in the world, right? So
Mhm.
they'll bring a more objective eye to it, and I'll moderate a little bit, so that you're not
Mhm.
you won't be too disappointed.
Okay.
That's where I
Um,
need to.
all right, that's reassuring, I guess. Then
Yeah.
in
Well,
my case, would we be able to go over my portfolio to see how it's looking right now after Sheridan's?
yeah. So let's do that. Sheridan, do you want to have the screen?
Sure.
All right, you're on.
Okay. One second, let me just go to my website. Okay. Okay, so this is what my website looks like right now. Okay. And these are all older projects, including these, but this one I'm still updating, but I can show you what I have so far. So I have like the intro, these pieces. I actually need to reorganize this. Then I have the website, which I'm trying to figure out how to connect these, but when I was trying to upload it, the formats are giving me issues in the sizes. So I have to try to do that.
Could you scroll up? Is there Whitefish Mountain Resort? All right, so then scroll down. You're not saying what this is.
Okay.
No, let's keep going, particularly when you make the transition from
Yeah, it's confusing, which is, yeah.
the apparel to the website. So we got to make some sort of transition. Website, it's stated up there, don't you think?
Mhm. Yeah. No, I agree.
So maybe the website's first and apparel second, because the website apparel is embedded in the website.
So I also have the like brand guide that I'm putting out in spreads.
All right, well, identified brand guide.
Okay. It is oh, I guess I don't have it identified here. Well, it's, yeah.
That would probably be first, brand guide, and then your branding of it, then the website, then the apparel, don't you think?
I think it should be brand guide, then apparel, then website,
All right,
just for whatever.
I identified, but the brand is first because you're telling me that you're doing something new.
Yeah, because this is also, this large image here is also the like cover page of the brand guide. But I just took off brand guide.
Yeah, why don't you just put brand guide there?
Okay, I will. I shall. Okay. Yeah. This is what I have the most content for right now, though. So this is why I've been
Yeah, this is fabulous.
just slapping stuff on there as I go.
Yeah, we got to.
And I think there might be a way for me to put underneath each title, like what exactly the project is, whether it's branding or UX design or UI design, or something else.
Yeah, because you don't know. That's what you should do that.
Yeah. Like this one.
I mean, it could be embedded in the button.
Huh?
In the text in the button itself.
Yes, like
So
under it.
those are buttons and not a poster.
What do you mean?
Whitefish is a button. You click on it and it goes to a page.
Yes.
Whitefish Mountain Resort branding.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Branding. Okay, yeah.
Sublime artwork, sublime prints, sublime.
Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't say, which is
yeah, but it could, because it isn't the artwork itself, it's a button.
Yeah. And so for this one, I don't really have much
Well, that was the final
mock-up material for it.
we were talking about a logo discussion on this trail thing. Remember?
Last class?
I don't know, a couple classes ago.
Okay, yeah, it was a couple classes ago.
Well, is this this obviously is the final solution? You didn't use the profile of the mountains with the ski trails coming down.
That's a different logo.
Oh, that's okay.
I know.
I just wanted
when you
to
start getting clients out west, they all want mountains.
Yeah. Well.
So that's why you have to try to make every mountain individual.
Right. Okay.
But yeah. So I don't have much mock-up material for this, so I kind of just like slapped the logo on a nice background and called it a day. And then I put like a t-shirt because they're making t-shirts, and then I just put the brand assets.
Okay. Well, that's all right.
Okay. And then what else? Yeah, all these, like this one, obviously I'm not even done with the design yet, so I don't really have much. Like, should I just do one image with the 3 cans on it, or should I do 3 separate images? And then what else would I add to the page?
Just the information, what it is. And
Okay.
I click as few times as possible. So I'll put them on a page and scroll, so you don't have a lot of clicks.
Okay. I am also working on another beer
Yeah.
branding thing right now.
Gordon,
Yeah,
that where your cursor is will take you back home.
here.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay,
Also to here.
okay.
And then the mood board, I'm gonna put my resume in it instead, because I think it's unnecessary.
Everybody know that resume is a mood board? I didn't know that.
It's not, but this is what the website came with. It came with a mood board just to put images up, but I'm gonna change this link. I'm gonna take it out completely and just put resume and a link to my resume.
And about is a bio,
Yeah, which I'll put my artist statement in.
and then you gotta have a contact up there.
I think it's in my about, but I should put another.
It should be
Okay, it's
all
not.
on the front page.
Yeah, I have my email here, but I can change it.
Don't you have a contact form?
I'm sure there's one that I can put in. Probably for the bottom or something. Yeah. If anybody needs to use Squarespace or has any questions about Squarespace, let me know, because in my opinion, it's like
I do.
very easy to use.
I do, Sheridan. I'm gonna change my website over to Squarespace.
Yeah, I love it so much. Let me go to the-
I'll ask you questions after this is all over with. I mean, this
Yeah.
class. Huh? Is that all right?
Sorry?
I'll ask you questions after the class is over.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Um,
I'm gonna change over to Squarespace.
I think that's all I have up right now. I am also working on another design for another beer can. As you can see, the illustration is coming along. It's gonna be skeletons.
Okay.
So that will also be part of my portfolio as well when it's done. But I feel like I'm just piecing together like a lot of small things for each project that I still have to do, like little mock-ups and things like that.
All right. Well, you're looking good.
Okay,
You got some.
thank you.
You got some. Information you got to put on the website to make it a little more clear in its
Yeah.
navigation. That's it. But
I
it's
agree.
looking great.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Ava, it's your turn. Where are you?
All right.
1 second.
It's mostly done. I just need to add like the last few things that I've been working for illustration wise.
Can you get the
Um,
screen?
I'm sorry?
Can you get the screen?
Yes, I can right now. So can everyone see?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is my main page.
Can you, Ava,
Yes.
this is your front page?
Yes, it is.
All right, well, go back, go right there. The thing you should see the first is your name, and you can't. You got that buried in under gray. So drop your name out on white or something. So that's the first thing that you need to come up first.
Okay.
You hear me? You
Yeah.
don't, when I glance at that right from the get-go, I'm looking at the white type experience. I'm looking at that colored image. That's what I see first. And you want to have your name first.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking on, I mean, I do like this layout, so I was thinking on having a splash page that pops up first.
Well, this is a splash page.
Well, no, like one that like an enter page, like it'll have my name and everything, and then it'll be like, click here to enter the site. You know what I mean? Like that type
Yeah,
of
you can
open
do
page.
that. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that because I do like this layout.
Well,
but I do understand what you're saying.
This layout is you've got these blocks which are buttons, and you highlight, when you run over it, it says what it is.
Yes. Mhm.
So it's really duplicating. It's not, let's go back to it's duplicating what you have on the left. So you're duplicating what's under your name.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Why? Why couldn't this just be a full open grid without that white bar there?
I mean, I guess it could be, but then I feel like it's not necessarily intuitive for a certain.
Well, if all you give is all those pictures, it tells you there, you just got all that information by scrolling over it.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that
And
is.
you could do it this way. You have a
With just-
splash page.
Mhm. And then it just enters to like this full screen. Okay.
Anybody have any thoughts on that? Nobody has any thoughts on that. All right, so this is nice, but I want to go back to the first page again. But it sounds like you're going to redo it.
Yeah, I'm still working on the.
All right, so this
Everything.
the imagery
Uh-huh.
is the nice drawing that you have there does not fit with everything else.
Yeah. This portfolio is sort of like a living, breathing resume of like all of my work, almost like a CV. So in this block right here, you can't see anything, but I'm actually going to have a little block about my thesis that I've written, which is obviously scholarly work. That's not art. But I want this page to be more of like the entirety of me rather than just one facet. You know, like I also have what's going to be here, my short film that I'm making in capstone. Like that's not the same thing as digital art, but I just want it to be everything, and that's why I included some illustrations.
And what is that white box below it again?
This white box below it is not active yet, but it will be for my thesis, which is scholarly research.
You're so graphically different. Let's go to illustration. And there's nothing wrong with that drawing. It's just that this is your illustrations?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that one top left one would look better with those other photographs. You got to curate it a little bit.
Yeah, I still have work to, but yes, I do agree that this is more poppy and it fits the color scheme better.
Yes, it fits the rest of the stuff better than that black and white traditional drawing.
Yeah, I originally had the black and white because I wanted something else to be black and white to go with the film photography, but that was also before I uploaded these three because I had to get these from.
There's one of those other black and white to the right there, the far right.
Yeah. When I initially put this cover photo, I didn't upload these yet, so that was why I never.
All right. Well, I'm just commenting on what I see, so I don't know what your intentions are, but.
So yeah, no, I understand. Thank you. Okay. I'm still.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I definitely think you're right. I like the bubbles for that.
Okay. Either that or the black and white on the right, but I'm just looking at the front and curating it.
Yeah.
And you're an experienced love girl. That's the name of the film?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So this looks like a poster.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The film will be embedded here, but it's not finished yet, and so it's just like a little splash page with like my press kit and director's statement.
All right, your type is not your type. You need that, justify that type. Don't center it, or make it flush left, rag right. It's very hard to read when it's centered like that, and you see how it's hitting up against the edge of the window.
Yeah.
Do you know what do you hear me?
Yes, I do understand that. That's actually something I've been meaning to work on for the entire website. You have to go in like and you can adjust the margins for the entire text on the site.
Okay.
And I think that's my issue.
Yeah. All right. So we got to fix that.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah. Otherwise, this is all of it. Not too much. I have a lot. Most of my work is photographs.
Okay.
But yeah,
Do all of those, do they enlarge?
yes, they do,
What is
and
this?
they're all titled.
Sir,
I'm sorry.
Mercedes Benz? Did you put that title in there? Okay,
Yeah, these were just like metadata titles that I've had.
okay. As long as they're all consistently there.
Yep. They're all tagged and dated.
All right. So why is it, how come some of them show, oh, I see, when the cursor's going over, the titles show up.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. I got to understand it. Oh, look at the bird.
Yeah, that was nice. But yeah, so this is it.
Okay. So
I know it's very untraditional having so many different mediums, I guess, but I think that's just how I want to do this.
well, you can, that's all right. You can do that. You'll end up in time editing this down. I think
Yeah, probably.
I think that you got too much in here.
hmm
Does anybody else have any thoughts? But you can go, if you, this is how you want to go with it right now, you know. But I think
Yeah.
I think you got too much stuff going on.
What would you suggest?
I would edit it down. I mean, go to the photographs. I mean, part of the intention looks like you want to over saturate it. You know, you need two. You got two photos of this and that. Like, what is the best Washington Monument photo? All three, or is there one that's better than another? That's what editing down is.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I would probably keep the first one.
Well, whatever, but you got a whole bunch of variations of that. Two photos of the skyline, New York skyline. You know, two photos of lakes, the lake shot. Why is there two there? It's like a stock photo album. Pick a photo.
Yeah, it's just it's been hard to pick, I guess, the best ones.
Well, that's part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
You got to self-edit.
Definitely. Okay. Thank you. That's very helpful.
I think almost all throughout. That changes the look of it, but somebody's going to look at this and say, I don't want to look at all these photographs. I just want to look at the best ones. What are the best ones, right?
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, thank you. I'm trying to think. I think that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
You're getting there.
All right, I'm getting there. Yeah. It'll finish at some point.
All right.
Yeah, I have I do have an about page, but I don't have it live right now because I'm editing the bio about myself.
I mean, you know, you could go and take that, what you have on the white bar on the left, and eliminate all of those stacked photographs to the right, and just keep that. And then when you go from that to the page of photographs to the illustration page as you have it. You just eliminated all the stuff on the right. You don't.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. I think I would keep just my about page and contact page, and then buttons down here.
I mean, that'll make it cleaner.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, keep working on it.
Will do.
So, should I just call anybody else want to volunteer here? All you happy people out there. Courtney, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
You want to show us anything?
I don't really have anything to show today because my website's kind of under construction.
All right. You only get 2 more chances.
Okay, sounds good.
and we want to go do what we did with Ava here to everybody.
Sounds good. I just am converting my website from Wix to Squarespace, so that's what I'm in the middle of right now.
All right, if you need any help, ask Sheridan.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, Sheridan.
Okay. Daniel, you got to show us anything?
I can show you. So I'm making a music video to, I have a coworker at my job who's much older than me, and he's done a lot in his life, and he used to be in this group in France called Lazy Boys. So he gave me a song from like, I don't know when, it's from like the 70s maybe. So I'm making a music video to that, and I'm editing it still, but I can show you some of the footage, or if you want to hear the song or whatever.
Let's see what it looks like. You got it.
Well, here's my website. It's really not much is on it right now. Wait, can you see?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like my website. Not much is on it right now. I'm still doing a lot, but so each thing is just, I don't know what to put on it. I see everybody else is like has a lot of stuff on it. Obviously, I'm gonna fill each one with like each thing, but like it's just so simple.
Well, simple is good. Unfortunately, that go back to this beginning. That graphic is very reminiscent to a contemporary painter.
Oh, it is? Okay.
I'm trying to remember his name. Oh, I mean that it just brings to mind this guy. And why is that graphic there?
Oh, I don't know, no reason. I just made it so I could have a little something to the website, but I don't need it. And obviously, I could put any cover.
I don't know. What does anybody else think about this graphic? Courtney, what do you think?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I think it's kind of interesting, honestly. I don't really have any significant background in like design for a website, but I think it's kind of intriguing.
Okay, maybe it's okay. Anybody else have any
I
thoughts?
think, I mean, I really like the idea of it, and I like how it kind of like creates this almost, how do you say, it makes the website almost also a design piece, but at the same time, I'm a little concerned that if somebody comes to our website, they're gonna be like, wait, what am I looking at? And before even like scrolling over to see that these blocks represent a different medium in a way, they might be confused by that. So maybe like include like an example of one of them on the blocks or something, like an example of what do you have, like digital media, film, and something else?
Yeah, I did. I have like a film blog, so I put that as the third one.
Okay, yeah. So like for design and film especially, like maybe put an image to represent those things in there, like an image of your work, if that makes sense.
Better be replacing it.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of something a little more dynamic, but yeah,
No, I like it. I don't think you should get rid of the design. I think you should just put like use this design as like kind of a background and then superimpose like an example of your work over the design in the middle.
Combine it.
Yeah.
I can even put like a transparent image behind and the lines go through it, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that'd be a.
What else do you put on like a website? Like, what do I put here? Like,
You don't. Space is fine. You
okay.
don't. The only thing you're doing there that's questionable is that you have to scroll down.
Yeah, I don't know. I was
I mean,
confused.
you can move that up.
Yeah, I'm still playing around with the.
So there's not so much, the scrolling is the only issue. It's not the black space that's a problem. It's the scrolling. The problem I have with this design is it doesn't refer to your artwork or your design work or video, whatever. It doesn't refer to your work. It refers to something else entirely, and we don't know what that is. And to me, it's this guy's painting.
Oh, yeah. I usually just like this type of like graphic work, so that's why I did it. But yeah, I know what you're saying though. It has no correlation.
Well, let's go click on one of those. Click on design or film, design, film. Click on one of them.
Yeah, I'm still
All right.
filming. But...
Is there, could you crop into any part of that image and make it abstract and use that instead of the green and blue. Like the
Oh
top,
yeah, I can find an image in like one of the.
yeah, like the top part of that oval, and you don't know what you're looking at. It's graphic, just like the green and blue, but it links to your actual work itself.
Yeah, like just Sharon just said it. I'm going to do that.
You understand what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, 100%.
I mean, then if you wanted, you could turn it black and white or turn it another color or something, but it really source one-to-one to what you're doing instead of having something entirely different.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Okay.
All right, now let me show you. So here, tell me if you guys could hear the song. Do you hear that? Okay. I'll just play it while I show you some stuff. So I'm doing this like girl who's like walking around and just like there's this black figure, like almost like a shadow following her. Obviously, it's gonna be edited all together. But like,
Hard man out on the town, making the usual round, looking for something that cannot be found. Hard man out on the town,
there's a lot of the bad shots in here,
walks
but
into the place, uncomfortable grin on his face. Too calm the nerves make it shaken, not stirred. Odd man out on the town. The company I keep will put you out of my misery. Now the night's through and I've come unglued. It's crueler than usual, the things that you do to me.
okay, you get the idea. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's the song, and I'm gonna edit it all together. It's gonna be cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Very mysterious. Good job. Thank you. Okay. Zuleika, would you like to show something?
Sure.
How'd you like that speaker?
She was nice. Very insightful.
Yes. So you're on.
All right. So I just basically just made the designs for the stickers. I'll probably be applying them in the same kind of website layout like I did with the t-shirts.
Okay.
And I also plan on maybe like printing it as well, maybe take some photographs and apply it onto the website, either or, whichever I can do first.
Okay.
So yeah, I just basically just redrew the designs from the shirt so at least it stayed consistent.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's all I have.
All right. Well, they're fun.
Yep.
Well, they're fun. Maybe you could put them on the refrigerator and telephone poles and things.
I think they did. In my case, I would place them in more like personal items than just putting it on a telephone pole.
Well, I mean, in situ, is that the right word? Where you see them in, used somewhere?
Oh yeah, I've seen like different stickers just applied in random like public items like mailboxes and telephone poles and all that.
Well, that's actually, I was just saying that as a joke, but now I'm thinking, hey, that's a pretty good idea. I mean, you could take photographs of different things and apply just a whole bunch of them to it's like faux applications. Like you take
Yeah.
a photograph of a taxi cab and put all these strawberries all over the front of the taxi cab. You know, yeah, I
Yeah,
might.
that's-
It's what say
no,
respond.
I just said that it was like a pretty interesting idea.
Yeah, I mean, it might be interesting to look at on your website. I'm not just the stickers. You could do the stickers and then do some photographs of. It'd be fun anyway if
Yeah.
different places that plaster all these stickers on. So it might be a good idea. I don't know. At any rate, you can.
All right.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm kind of going down the grid here. So, Greta, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You want to show us anything?
Yeah. I see the screen. Okay. I haven't done too much. I've been kind of focusing on, tried to find a new font for my sub headline because we thought it looked a little bit too similar. So I found this one. It's Apfel. I don't even know say Apfel Grotesque Regular. But I thought I wanted to find something that had the A's, like similar like that, like how they draw it in that way versus I don't even know what another font.
That's a
how they
nice
would draw it.
font. That's a nice font.
Yeah,
What is a
and it's a little
font?
bit different.
Yeah, what is a font? It's 1037. What is that?
This is the head. This is the one from the logo.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like the headliner font, and then this is my body.
so okay.
Yeah, unless I should do this as the sub headline, which I could also do that as well.
The sub headline. What do you mean by that?
Like I have the headline font, this is the sub headline font, and then this is my body font. But I could do
The
this
body
as the
font
sub
is different.
headline.
The body font is different than the vegan bakery.
Yeah, this is Malik's book.
I would think that the logo type remains only as logo type, and everywhere
Okay.
else change the font. It's not logo type anymore. So it's
Okay.
the logo type is unique to Brooklyn Whiskers, and that gets to be vegan bakery.
All right, that's okay.
That's my
okay.
suggestion. And
That makes sense.
do you have souvenir font?
In my like font box thing.
Yeah.
I can check. Souvenir.
Yeah.
Um,
Just spell it and see if it shows up.
no, I don't think I do unless I spelled it wrong. But I
Okay,
don't think I
because
did.
that
I can
font,
get it though.
huh? No,
I
don't
can get it though.
don't get it. It's a corny font.
Oh, okay.
But that looks like the lowercase of Broadway, Brooklyn. That's why I brought it up.
Okay.
But so
Yeah,
but
this is
the
Jarbata.
Brooklyn Whiskers caps looks great.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's Jarbata, I think that's what it was. I downloaded a lot of these online. And then I was trying to play around with the coffee again because we thought that the color was a little bit like ill fitting.
Yeah.
So I tried to make it a little bit more like white based. I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys think I should, because I'm trying to like imagine it like in an actual store, and I can kind of picture what this packaging would look like. And I was kind of in between doing like a paper bag kind of looking coffee, because like at least in my neighborhood at my grocery store, a lot of like the trend right now is to package all of your coffee in like a cardboard, or not cardboard, but like a paper bag. But I feel like the shadowing doesn't really go with like the paper bag look.
Oh, I understand, because I get my coffee and it's in a brown paper bag.
Yes, that's exactly how I get my coffee.
So don't do it that way. Do it differently.
Okay.
You're doing it differently. Now maybe the Brooklyn Whiskers gets to be dark brown. I don't know.
Dark brown, you said?
Yeah, I mean that's just because coffee, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing different. So in my book,
Oh yeah.
I'm starting to lay out the color palette. So I'm thinking of doing different variations of the logo and all the different colors
Okay.
for different packaging, because I do agree that, like, for example, this maybe I wouldn't want like a black logo. Maybe I'd want to like have like that chocolate brown.
Yeah.
Um,
What's on the
so
background? The background is transparent.
this color.
No, no.
Oh, this? Yeah, this is transparent. It comes with a color, but I realized that like it's kind of weird in my book because it has that shadow. So when I put it in my book, it's a different color than like say another background color, even though the RGB or whatever it is the same numbers. The shadow makes it darker. So I just do transparent and I put my own color in my InDesign book.
Okay.
Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yeah.
But yeah, so what do you think of this? This is a little bit more like whiter based instead of like that kind of greenish. But again, the shadow kind of makes it like a little bit different than what I intended.
Well, I'm looking at it, you're getting so subtle there that our technology is not, I don't think I can make a judgment with it.
Yeah,
Nice
I can
for-
always send it via email with like a background. So
Yeah, if you
like,
want, I can look at
I
it,
don't know.
but I think you're doing
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. I think that this one looks a little bit less because I totally got what you guys were saying about like it got the greenish tint. That wasn't really like my intention.
That's on the right, right?
Yeah, so another thing that I realized, so I'm using a template that I got from, I think it's called like Behance or something, but they do all of these different mock-ups.
Uh-huh.
And like here on the right, like I just like insert my design, which is really fun.
Yeah.
So like the left coffee bag color has a different layer than the right one. So like the left one is like this color. If I press that, then it opens up, color picker, average. But then if I go down here, the change color thing just opens up a new layer, like the layer style palette thing. So I tried to go into like color overlay to change the color, but they're slightly different. Because the layer, however they made the layer styles, I can't figure out how to like change the color like I did for this one.
Well, I think you could just dump that layer and duplicate the other,
Okay,
this is,
get rid of this.
yeah, it's all of that is you can customize all of that.
Yeah,
If you understand what the layers are doing,
right. I just don't want to get, yeah,
you gotta,
as long as I can duplicate the shadow.
a what?
The shadow, because these both have shadows, their own separate shadows over them to give it this like crinkled look.
Oh, shadows on top.
Yeah, so like there's a shadow in the background to just
Yeah.
make it like a stock photo. And then if you look closely, I mean, you kind of, I don't know if you can tell on screen share, but
Yeah,
it's like, yeah,
it's a little dented thing.
yeah,
Well,
to
so
give like
are
a
they on-
coffee bag look.
Are they on separate layers?
Um, mm, yes. So like, for example, this whole layer is coffee bag 1, and then this whole one is coffee bag 2, and then you
Well,
like
those
can
are
open it.
folders, and there's layers inside those folders. So they're
Yeah, so the folders are separate, and then inside each
all right.
like
So you can take the
piece.
eyeball off and see where their effects are.
Yeah. So like, for example, like this is the color of, I think actually this one.
All right, we'll
Like
take the
coffee bag
eyeball.
2 is the first one.
Take the
So if
eyeball.
I do that, then it's just white. So like that's kind of nice. But I don't know
Well,
what that color is.
change coffee bag color. So there's a color there.
Right, but it's like I open it and then it's just the layer styles.
Color overlay. Click on color.
Yeah. But then the issue with this is if right now the opacity is at 42%. If I set it to 100, then oh, well, actually it's off. Hold on. If I set it to 100, then it's completely like, see how all the shadows go away. So it's like
Well,
not set up the same as this one.
Yeah, but you can change the color.
Yeah, so that's why it looks slightly different though, because I have to change the opacity so that you can still see the shadows.
Go up to multiply and put it on normal. That'll just show you what color it is. Nothing happened?
Yeah, it just,
Oh, well, you put the opacity back up.
right.
Whatever color, that's the color right there. That's
Yeah.
normal.
It's
And
like a little bit.
This is
Yeah.
a matter of, you got to play with this stuff, but
Yeah.
you got to click, go put it back on what it was, multiply, and go click on color overlay, and you'll get to whatever there. Now blend mode, normal, opacity 100%, and click on the rectangle there, up, click, just to see what happens. Make the color different, make it orange or something. There, okay, so there you go. That's what I thought it had. So there, you can change that. You can make, and go, if you wanted to make them exactly the same, just copy the numbers down, RGB number, and do the same thing with the other one. Because it's got the same stacked relationship, I believe, right?
I think they just set it up differently between the two of them. I'm not really sure why, but
Did this help at all? Can you figure that out now?
yeah. No, I was kind of like trying to play around with it before, because I was using like the color picker and stuff, so I didn't even have to like jot down the numbers. But I'm gonna continue. I just wanted to check if you liked more of like a whiter based color, if that kind of got rid of the greenish tint.
I don't care for the greenish tint, personally.
I agree. No, I agree. I didn't like it either.
But so the one on the left is one I like the best. But it doesn't necessarily have to be, could be 10% darker. I'm not sure. Okay,
I'll play around with it.
All right.
Okay, that's really all. I can't find this. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's really it.
That's it.
Mhm.
All right, looking good.
Thanks.
So, Sid. Hi.
Hello.
You want to show us anything?
Well, let's see. I got some more pages done for my last story. They're downstairs. I haven't uploaded them onto my computer yet, but I did publish my website. I mean, not everything is loaded into it yet, but if you want to just take a look at what I've got so far for the site, I could show you that.
Okay.
Let's see. Shares.
Me, I think you're ready.
So here it is. So I've got a page where I'm going to put specifically my stories, and well, not obviously the full-fledged stories with text and everything, because that's a recipe for disaster, but illustrations from specifically books and stories I'm going to do.
Can you scroll up to the top?
Oh yeah, sure.
You don't need your name twice.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. Yeah, I have to fix that. I'm not sure why that's all there.
And your name on your name in the center there could be larger.
Okay.
But I would not put the name twice. It isn't necessary.
Yeah, I think the one in that like bar thing in the center, I might get rid of that one. I think I'll just keep the one that's on the side. Or do you think I should do the opposite?
No, one or the other. But then
yeah.
Then you can move get rid of that frame altogether. So the images go up to the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I'll go do that. So then illustration, little characters that's probably where I'll put original characters that I haven't put into stories yet, I guess.
Cool.
And then I've got my landscapes, exhibitions, because I have one coming up. So I figured, that makes 3 that I've done, including school stuff. So I figure I'll devote a folder to that just to show people I can do that kind of thing.
These installation shots? Installation shots?
I'm going to, for the exhibition that I have coming up, I'll do installation shots. I don't have installation shots like of the actual like process of hanging and all that from the school exhibitions I've done. But yeah, so I wouldn't worry about that. But the personal ones that that I'm going to be doing, I'll include actual installation shots.
Okay.
And then miscellaneous painting stuff that doesn't fit into the other categories, and then miscellaneous drawing. And I have stuff in the folders, but I figured it'd be tedious to go through all that right now. But yeah, so that's what I've got at the moment. I still have more that I want to put in there, but that'll happen.
Okay, looking good.
Thank you.
Okay. Hannah, are you there?
Yes.
Hi. Do
Hi.
you have anything in the box?
Yeah, I have something from last week and this week.
Okay. This is in your folder, right?
It should be.
Today. Let me see. There we go.
Yeah, so that's a figure drawing that I did.
Okay. Is this these binding necessary? Is this necessary?
It's on a really big um drawing pad. So I can probably crop out the top part, but it's like pretty hard to photograph. So
Do you know how to fix that in Photoshop?
I can take out the top part.
Do you know how to get rid of this in Photoshop?
Um I can try like filling it in with a similar color.
That'll do it. Retouch it.
Okay.
If you don't, I'll show you.
Okay, that's the only way I can think of it if you have a better solution.
Well, do you have something else to show today?
Yeah, I finished a postcard, the postcard from the other day.
I'm gonna download this and go get it. April 12th, April 19th. All right, there we go. That's nice. That looks professional. You want to say anything about this?
So every photo that's in this postcard is one I've taken. The only thing I need to fix is like a lot of the space above the text and below. I thought I had kind of cropped that out in Illustrator. But I guess when it's saved, it kind of kept that empty space. So I'm just gonna like crop that.
This?
Yeah.
The rocks?
Yeah, like when I was in Illustrator, it was I kind of cut it like kind of right below the A. I, yeah.
Okay, all right. If that's what you like, that's fine. I'm gonna go and do this now. This is a neat tool to, I'm in Photoshop. I'm going to go to edit, perspective, warp. There's layout, warp. Oh, I gotta go and I gotta set this grid. And I'm gonna go, this, unfortunately, this is gonna change that drawing. Maybe that won't matter, maybe it will. That'll be up to the artist. So I'm gonna flatten this out. Warp, this is both ways. There it does it, and this is okay. Now I've got a square page, and oops, a little bit of a foot. And then I'm gonna go, and I have this, and I don't want to push them up, so I'm gonna go up close like this. Boy, I don't have much space here. I'm gonna make a, oh, I could go and make my brush a little bigger. Brush, oh, it's way too big. I'm looking up here. It's giant. I've got my caps lock on. That gives it, now I can see the brush size with my caps lock turned off. And you know, you try to draw this so close to the top of the page. I'm gonna go Option, click. See, it got the top of the page. That's hard. So I'll try something different here. Edit, transform, distort. That's not great either. Now you got me going on a project here. So I gotta do this by hand. I was trying to do it quickly. This is by hand doing photo retouching. To make it look better. Does this look better? You know?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Actually, yeah, it is.
Okay. I think it's a little forgiving because you got modulation across all that. So is that better now?
Yeah.
You want to crop this off?
Sure. I just don't want it to go into the drawing too much.
There?
Oh, okay.
File, save as. Can I put it back to the folder? All right. You okay with that? You got it back.
Thank you. That's really helpful.
Okay, so you try to make it as look good as you can, so you're not, you know, that idea was to get the distractions off the drawing, right?
Right.
Okay, so that's it.
Yeah. Thank you.
How's your website?
It's under construction.
Okay, well, you'll show it next week maybe, huh?
Okay.
Okay. Olivia, how you doing, Olivia?
I'm good. I'm good.
You want to show us anything?
Sure. So I know I've been a bit behind with showing projects. I do have the logo project. I have 3 logos for 3 of my characters done. Let's see. Can I share the screen? Oh,
I think you can.
yes.
There we go.
Also, my sister's also in a meeting in the other room. I just don't know if it's being picked up by my mic. But yeah, you might hear something.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, this. Okay. So this is the character Alasia that I've been showing. That has been the focus of my projects this semester, and her logo is actually taken. It's an eye with 4 rings of various shades of blue. And
We're only seeing the thumbnails. Excuse me for interrupting. Do you have it?
Oh,
Yeah. Do you have-
really? Because huh.
You might only be sharing that one window.
Oh, hold on. Okay, how do I? Where are the screen share options? Ah, there they are. Oh, I hit like a folder page instead of screen. Okay. I had a lot of things open up, so okay, can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is Alasia. This is the character I've been showing. Blah, blah, blah. And so her logo, it's an eye where the iris is 4 rings of a dark shade of blue going to a light shade of blue. This is actually taken from her original design from when I made her back all the way back in middle school, so like 10 years ago. Where her eye, the one eye that was showing, looked like this. I thought it would be a nice reference to her old design, and I think it kind of, I just kind of think it looks nice as well.
All right. So I could see where there is a the thickness of the black circles.
Yes. I forgot the thickness of the stroke I used because I made all these logos in Illustrator. Thought it'd be better for symmetry and shapes.
I would think that the thickness of the eye, lemon shaped eye, would be in more contrast to the thickness of the pupil, or exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Can you just elaborate a bit?
Well, you made the thickness of the, I'll call it a lemon shape.
Oh, the eye, the actual eye. I made it
You made it just a little bit different, and it's not a lot different thickness wise, or it's not, and it's not the same.
Mm.
So
So
maybe,
you're saying I should have done like a same thickness?
I'm saying that that should be consistent. Yes.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if the same thickness would like sort of detract.
Well, it might make it too thin, and then you want to go the other direction and make it the lemon shape much thicker. Not, it's very close to the same thickness right now.
Yeah, I think I just did it like 1 point smaller than the outside of the eye.
Yeah, try a little more contrast. The idea is contrast, either consistency or contrast, but not something that's just almost but not quite the same.
Okay. One final thing I want to note about this design before moving on to the next character is that the shade of blue at the very center before the pupil is the same shade of blue I have for her eye, like a regular eye.
Okay.
Because I figure I should include her actual eye color in the design.
Yeah, great. That's consistent. That's the idea of consistency. That's what I'm emphasizing.
This is another one of my characters. His name is Kyo Suzuki, which apparently Kyo means apricot and Suzuki means bell tree. So I thought I'd sort of make a logo incorporating those aspects of him, of his name. This was actually it's an apricot that is also supposed to be a bell. It was the most difficult to do because it was a object in like on an angle instead of straightforward. So I had to really figure out how to build this with a shape builder tool. Which coincidentally, when I went to make these logos, I had been seeing on my Instagram feed a bunch of different logos with how they're broken down, like how other shapes were used to make them, like circles. And so I knew I had to just use the shape tool and then the shape builder tool. But again, getting a fruit in perspective was a little bit difficult. It definitely took the most time to make.
Okay.
Yeah, just
I'm sorry it was hard for you to do.
yeah.
That's actually a very simple drawing. You don't need a shape builder tool to do it, though you can use a shape builder tool.
Yeah, I thought it'd be I thought I'd get the shape a bit nicer if I use the shape builder tool rather than freehanding it.
Well, I would use a path tool with a pin. And so do you have a path of example of this? Can you turn that into paths?
Okay, this is in my folder. Let me
Then we can really look at it.
yeah. I should here it is. It loads. Okay, I'm sorry. This is like the most I've used Illustrator in a while, so
Go to view from the top. I don't have Illustrator open. Outline. Go to outline. There's your paths. Click on. Go to the black arrow selection tool in the toolbox and click on the path of the apricot.
Okay.
All right. So if you go down to the bottom where to your right, that's crooked. Click and drag. You got to make that smoother. Oh, you got to go Command Z. Go to your open arrow. No, Command Z.
Sorry, I have Windows. I don't have the command button.
Oh, well, that's Control then. But you see that there's a little corner right there. I noticed that in the drawing.
Yeah, I wanted a bit of a point to it. I didn't want it to be round, but I also didn't want it to be like a heart shape.
You got a lot of metaphors going on. So let's leave that then. That's what you want, and go back to view.
Yeah, I just thought the bottom of the fruit having a bit of a point looked a bit nice.
All right, if you say so. Go to view and let's see the thing put together again.
Sorry,
up. Preview on CPU. Up. All right, so that's not filled in. You know,
right, yes, because I couldn't figure out how to fill the color in. So I saved it as a transparent PNG and used another program to do the color.
All right. Well, you could look it up. I could show you, but you could easily look it up. You could have done it here, but you did.
Yeah, it was a bit late, so I wasn't thinking quite straight with my problem solving.
I have one other comment.
Yes.
Did you look up bells? Did you have a source material to this?
I was thinking like not like a bell. I was thinking like a jingle bell, like a
jingle bell. Did you look it up? Because it does not, to my opinion, with a colored one, it does not refer to a bell. And why is that?
I guess because it's orange and less yellow. If I had a guess. Actually incorporating the bell motif is something I'm still working on with the design. I think of all the logos I have done for my characters so far, this is the one I have to work on the most, because if I were to make it look like a bell, it's the little circle hole for the bell. I know it's not actual, like a jingle bell actually isn't like this, it's more on the bottom, but I don't know how to get it done how to make it look like a bell without sort of ruining the shape of the fruit.
Well, you're trying to make two metaphors there.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm trying to figure out how to cross them over in a harmonious way.
well, I looked up a bell. Do you want to see it?
Yes. Should I stop screen sharing?
Yeah.
Uh,
So I recommend, like, look up examples and see what they look like. You see how that doesn't look like a hole? It
Mm.
kind of is round right there.
mm.
Round right there. I mean, these are all illustrations as well, or something that's really obvious like that.
Yeah.
Yours looks like it doesn't refer to a bell is a problem, to my eye.
That's yeah. No, you're right.
But it could. I mean, you could make it more so refer to a bell.
Mm.
I mean, this one right there. Oh, I lost it. Anyway, so that's just my opinion. It looks like
Yeah, no, that's a design. That's a design I definitely need to work on.
okay, well,
Oh, in the future, I will try and work on that.
you could make the metaphor easier by having a peach next to a bell, two separate things, and make that into a logo. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that'd keep your concept, but it instead of trying to combine those two things into a double meaning, you could just separate them because there are two things that are sitting next to each other, the same size. One's a bell and one's a peach.
Okay.
That's a thought, and you can make a logo out of that.
Okay.
Okay, are we done?
I had one more left to share.
Okay. Oh, all right. Here we go.
Yeah, I had 3 because I figured the logo for my character would be the easiest.
All right. So you got it back again.
Okay. Yes, I figured since one logo would be pretty easy, I should do a few just to have a little extra to present. So the third is for my character Damon. It was actually it is also a very simple design. It's taken from his odd shirt that I love dearly as part of his design. And it's quite simply this. I want to put an outline on it. That's the one thing I want to change about it. It's simply just the stripes of a shirt. The way I did it was I made squares and made like a little grid and just kind of filled them in with color. Took a bit just to figure out the proportions, but otherwise I knew exactly what I wanted to do and how I should do it.
All right. Well, that's very convincing looking. It's an abstraction, and everything else you're showing is not. They're illustrations. This is very much a symbol.
Okay.
And the rest are not. And just so you know that.
All right.
So,
and
if you made made this into a piece of fabric, then it'll get out of being just simply a graphic symbol and have a reference point to the idea of an illustration. Let's say it was on a towel or sheet or something, or some fabric looking thing.
Okay.
That's an idea. It'll bring it back into the context that you've done everything else that you've showed. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because this is I'm repeating myself. This is an abstract design, very convincing looking, but it doesn't look like your style.
Oh. They're already halfway done. It was okay.
You can take that wherever you want it.
All right.
Okay. That's not like it's not bad. It's just
no, I know.
Okay. All right. Good deal.
Thank you.
We'll see your website next week, huh?
Yeah, I gotta work on that some more.
All right. So I'm gonna go. I have the screen back.
All right. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Do I have the screen here? Is everybody happy? Happy enough? Any,
Mhm.
any questions out there? Any comments? So we're gonna go and try to be very productive this week, right? I'm working on stuff too when you guys are not here. I got a exciting project going on, 3D animation thing going on. So have a good week and work hard. I'll end the meeting. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank
See you
you.
next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.